The recent arrival of hundreds of US AH-64 Apache helicopters in Luzon has sparked major conversations across the region and beyond. This deployment is not just a simple transfer of military assets, but a clear reflection of the changing security landscape in the Indo-Pacific. Luzon, being the Philippines' largest island and geographically close to the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait, has always been a location of immense strategic value. The decision to position such a large number of attack helicopters there speaks volumes about Washington's evolving strategy and the growing importance of the Philippines in its overall defense posture in Asia. The Apache AH-64 is one of the world's most advanced and lethal attack helicopters, designed for precision strike missions, close air support, and anti-armor operations. By deploying them in Luzon, the United States is making a statement that it intends to significantly enhance its rapid response and deterrence capability in a region where tensions have been escalating. The symbolism of this move is strong. It sends a signal not only to allies in Southeast Asia that Washington is committed to regional security, but also to China, which has increased its activities and military presence in the South China Sea. This deployment comes at a time when the Philippines and the United States have been deepening their defense cooperation under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement. Over the past 2 years, Washington has gained access to more bases across the Philippines, particularly in locations that are close to Taiwan and the contested waters of the South China Sea. Luzon is one of the most critical of these, providing direct routes for military aircraft to operate in the region quickly. The presence of hundreds of Apaches there indicates that the U.S. is preparing for contingencies that could involve both large-scale defense operations and precision strikes in the event of regional instability. For the Philippines, this development is both an opportunity and a challenge. On one hand, the country gains increased security guarantees and advanced capabilities through U.S. support, which strengthens its ability to deter external threats. On the other hand, such a massive presence of American forces and equipment could invite more pressure from China, which has long criticized the Philippines for allowing U.S. military access. Still, the Philippine government has consistently emphasized that the country needs strong defense partnerships to safeguard its sovereignty and territorial integrity, especially in the face of maritime disputes in the West Philippine Sea. Observers note that the deployment of AH-64 Apaches is different from earlier rotations of U.S. aircraft, which often involved transport helicopters or support aircraft. This time, the emphasis is on combat readiness. The Apache is not a symbolic asset. It is built for war, and its arrival in such numbers underlines the seriousness with which Washington views the evolving security climate. The helicopters can provide close air support for ground forces, conduct reconnaissance, and engage enemy armor or positions with pinpoint accuracy. In a region where flashpoints could escalate quickly, this kind of firepower offers a strong deterrent at the same time. This buildup highlights the growing interdependence of the U.S. and the Philippines in maintaining stability in the Indo-Pacific. Joint exercises have already shown the increased interoperability between the two militaries, and the arrival of more advanced platforms like the Apache only deepens that partnership. For Washington, ensuring that the Philippines is both capable and willing to host such forces is a key element of its larger regional strategy that also involves Japan, Australia, and other partners. Critics, however, caution that such a visible deployment of combat aircraft could heighten tensions rather than reduce them. China has repeatedly condemned the growing U.S. presence in the Philippines, describing it as provocative and destabilizing. Some analysts worry that the military buildup could lead to miscalculations, especially if Chinese forces perceive the presence of Apaches and other assets as preparation for offensive operations. The Philippines, meanwhile, faces the delicate task of balancing its economic ties with China and its defense commitments with the United States. Nevertheless, from Washington's perspective, the risks are outweighed by the need to demonstrate strength and readiness. The Apache deployment is part of a larger pattern that includes sending more troops, equipment, and ships to the region. As the geopolitical competition between the U.S. and China intensifies, Luzon has effectively become one of the front lines in a broader strategic contest. For the people of the Philippines, this means living with both the reassurance of stronger defenses and the reality of being at the center of great power rivalry. In the end, The arrival of hundreds of AH-64 Apache helicopters in Luzon marks a new chapter in U.S.-Philippines relations and underscores the urgency of the current security environment in Asia. It is a development that carries both promise and peril. While it strengthens deterrence and reassures allies, it also sharpens the edge of confrontation with China. What happens next will depend not just on the actions of Washington and Manila, but also on how Beijing interprets and responds to this show of force. One thing is certain: the deployment has already changed the dynamics in the region, and its impact will be felt for years to come.